Welcome to the Casual Vibe Pod. I'm here joined by Ryan.
Hi, I'm
Introduce
Ryan.
yourself, Ryan.
Hello, I'm Ryan. I work at Zoo Miami. I'm a zookeeper there. Official title, Animal Care Specialist One. That's just fancy for zookeeper. I work at Zoo Miami. We're the fifth largest zoo in the United States. We're roughly, what did I say the number was? 750
Yeah.
acres. We have roughly 500 species with roughly 3,000 individuals.
So
So
three
yeah,
thousand different animals.
right, yeah,
Different animals.
yeah, like individuals. So like,
So does that count like reptile or not reptiles, like
yeah.
bugs and
Um, so we do house some insects. Most of the insects we have, like we have some tarantulas, some scorpions, but it's mostly like those are usually like ambassador program animals. You know what I mean?
okay.
Um, my area doesn't have any of those guys. I work with mammals, large mammals of the Amazon. I got jaguars. Let's go through it. I'm gonna run through the list.
Okay.
Guanaco peccary, um, giant anteater, giant river otter, roughly 500 bats. They're micro bats, so you could fit a lot. Um, Tamandua, porcupine, sloth, agouti, which is a species of rodent, kind of looks like a capybara, just very
Those are
very
cute.
small. Yeah, he's really cute, but he's only I don't know a foot and a half long.
Is that small for that species?
No, not really. I mean, he's a species of rodent.
Okay.
Capybaras are the largest species of rodents in the world, and they're like an abnormality. You know what I mean? Like rodents, like rats,
Yeah.
hamsters. Phil, our agouti, he's the same
Now
type of animal.
this might come off as a little bit ignorant, but do they do the same things that like rats do, or like
What do you mean by that? I
what do they
mean,
do in the wild?
so he, so agoutis in the wild, they're one of Brazil's and the Amazon in general. They're one of their largest seed dispersal animals. So what they do is they'll eat fruits, vegetables, but they also eat seeds. So like the Brazil nut, they're the largest distributor of Brazil nuts because they have a really tough exterior shell. So what they'll do is they'll either eat it there, or if they're not hungry, they'll bury it somewhere to return to later. If they forget where it is and they just forget about it, that will turn into a tree. So
Wow.
yeah, so they're a seed dispersal animal. Another seed dispersal animal I work with are spider monkeys. I also have giant river otters, jaguars, um, howler monkeys, golden lion tamarins, and that I believe is it. Yeah,
What's your favorite animal to work with
as an individual or a species.
as an individual?
I don't know.
Like in your in
Yeah,
your section.
right. I like primates. I like the spider monkeys. We have five in total. I don't think I have a favorite because they're all like really
Yeah.
personable.
No, I
So
mean like I'm sorry, I meant species. So spider monkey is
yeah,
your
I think
favorite.
that would actually cover both the individual and the
Okay.
species because I do like both.
Okay.
Um,
I love capuchin monkeys.
Capuchins, yeah, they're cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was like that is capuchin?
I'm not sure. I say capuchin,
Okay.
but
I thought it was capuchin.
I
But
don't know. It could
either
be.
way, they're super cute. I wanted
Yeah,
like I have a vision of me like in my house like, in the future with like a whole room where like he or she could live in. Like not like a
all right.
cage, like an entire room
Sure, go for
as
it,
if it
man.
was like my baby.
Uh huh.
But I'm kind of scared because I heard they're kind of aggressive. Like monkeys can be
So I
aggressive,
mean, I'm gonna be
like
not to
throwing
squash
poop.
your dreams, but like it's never a good idea to house a primate. In the wild, primates have a whole rainforest to
Yeah,
themselves, so it's never a great idea to house one as a pet. I
yeah.
mean, there are if there are facilities that have them. I mean, Miami has them, but we try to give them adequate space. Um, I have seen actually on the gas station on 152nd, the racetrack.
Mhm.
One time I was pumping gas, and the lady next to me, she had a baby in her shoulder with a diaper on. I was like, oh, that's cute, whatever. And the more I look at it, I was like, man, is that a cat?
The hairy
Is
ass
that a
baby.
dog? Dude, it was a little capuchin
No
monkey.
way,
Yeah,
dude.
right here.
They're so cute, bro.
Yeah, yeah, they're cute. Most
Like
primates are
just
cute.
walking around with like a diaper, like
Yeah,
it's so cute.
yeah,
I've
yeah,
seen
yeah.
videos of this guy who has like a capuchin monkey,
Mhm.
and cutest thing ever.
Yeah, they are cute.
So I feel like if I was a zookeeper, I would like to work with monkeys as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah, they're cool. I've worked not to cut you off, but
of course,
Besides the spiders, I also have the howler monkeys and the GLTs. The GLTs are really cute.
GLT.
Yeah, golden lion tamarin.
Oh,
A
okay.
tamarin. It's a very small species of. It's a calitrichid. It's a
Are
very
those
small
are
species
those
of.
the ones with the striped tail? Or
No, you're thinking about ring-tailed lemurs.
okay,
So all my animals are from South America, from the Amazon more
okay.
specifically. Lemurs, specifically ringtails, are from Madagascar.
And you
But
work with
yeah,
leopard or
jaguars. Yeah,
jaguars. You work with jaguars.
yes
How's
sir.
that, bro?
Dude, it's really cool. It's really funny because when at the base of it, when the more you get to know them, and as it's still a jaguar. Just because we're a zoo doesn't mean that this is like a domesticated animal. It's still a jaguar. However, when you really get to know them, they're really sweet and like it's kind of like they're kind of like house cats. Like you give them, like if we give them like certain types of enrichments, like Emma, one of our females, we gave her this really big box. One of our keepers came in with like a box for like a inflatable pool. So it's like a really
Mm-hmm.
big box, and we added like a bunch of cinnamon in there just for her to like play around in. And she'll like bite it, she'll like wear it, like she'll literally go inside the box, she'll walk around with it on her. It's adorable.
So the jaguar, since it is in the family of the same family as cats, right? The same
Yeah, they're a
species.
big cat. Yeah.
Do they do also the same thing where like if they can fit their head somewhere, their entire body can fit in there, just like a cat?
Um, I'm not sure. I
Like
would.
collapse. I think it's like their bones can collapse or
I'm
something.
not sure. I can't tell you that.
Okay.
I mean, they do have pretty big heads. We call Adonia, who's our male, we call him Big Head because his
Yeah.
head really is massive. His head's probably my shoulder width. Uh, Even though they're the smallest of the big cats, they're huge. I've worked also tigers and lions. They're so much bigger in person. When you're 5 feet away
Yeah.
from them, they're incredibly so much bigger than you think they are.
Now, when you say work, how close do you get with these cats?
So they're always protected contact. I'm never going in there with any dangerous animal. There are only certain species we can go in with, which is called my mind's blanking.
All good.
Point is, protected contact is when we cannot go in with them. Free contact. There you go. Protected contact is when we cannot go in with them. So I could go mesh to mesh with them. That's how we feed them, right? With tongs, we'll feed them their diet. Um, if you really wanted to, you can stick your fingers in there. That's how close we are. But
Yeah.
obviously, we're trained professionals. We're
Yeah,
not
and you
doing this
know.
stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that is how close it's mesh to mesh.
Okay.
It is close, but
Now,
that's why we're trained the way we are, so we don't lose a finger.
how many
Something like that.
times how many times do these big cats get fed in one day? Because like
It all depends.
because us as like the people who enjoy the zoo
Hmm.
like the civilians I
Yeah,
guess say it, we don't ever see these animals be fed, so like how
it's funny you say that because that's like the number one question I get asked.
yeah, so like
Like
when do they get fed?
when
How
I'm on the
often?
public pathway, if it's not where's the bathroom, it's oh, is it feeding time? So it all depends. Like at Zoo Miami, we're lucky enough to have a nutritionist, and we have a whole state of the art nutrition center who prepare our diets. They weigh everything, they measure everything, and they give it to us. We don't have to worry about anything. All we have to do is feed it to them. And that goes for every animal in the entire zoo. Um, so that being said, it all depends on their weight. Adonia, who's our male, is roughly uh, 10 to 20 kgs larger than our female Emma, right? And Ray, they're way about the same.
That's about like 22, 23 pounds, right?
I
10,
can't do the math on
10
that.
yeah. It's like a conversion rate of
Yeah,
1.2. So
I'm
10
not sure.
you said it was 10 kicks?
I believe. Well, today we weighed them. I believe it was 19 this morning.
19 difference? Like a difference of
Yes.
19.
Yes.
And
I could
and
be wrong. I
Adonia.
can't.
Adonia is the male, right?
Yes, Adonia's a male.
So he weighs about like 40 something pounds more than the female.
I can't do that math. I'll take your word on it.
Okay.
But yeah, so all the diets are weight dependent. We try to step up with our Jags at least once in the morning, at the very least. We try to always give keeper to animal food. You know what I mean? So like we will leave food on exhibit for them to go
Yeah.
find. We will give them like whole prey to eat, but when we give them the majority of the diet, we try to give it to them as the keeper. So we're stepping up with them multiple times a day.
And that's to establish a
A good
connection, right? A
relationship.
good relationship.
It is really important when we're shifting them, when we're training them. It's always good to have a good relationship with your animals.
I remember when I used to have a ball python.
Mhm.
One of the biggest things that they would tell me is like you could just drop it into the enclosure, or you could like take them out of the enclosure, put them in like a specific box so that they know that whenever they're in this box, it's
Hmm.
feeding time, and that they should see when you drop
Hmm.
the food in there,
Sure.
so that they know that, oh wow, this person, this hand that's
Hmm.
floating from the sky is feeding me.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna be less likely to attack this hand.
Yeah, I've heard that as well.
So yeah, but
I,
what's funny? Right after, few feeding times after I fed him, and I was gonna give him two. So after, no, I fed him the first time, just one rat. He ate it, and then I made a mistake. I put my hand way too close to his hand to
yeah.
his head, because they don't see. They have infrared
Right.
vision,
They see thermal.
so all
Sure.
they saw was another warm object
Right.
coming near me. I wanted it's food. Nope.
Sure.
And then he bit me.
So that's why some people will say that not to do that because when they're in that box and they know it's feeding time,
Yeah,
any warm signature they'll see, they could take it as food.
it was my mistake. I was supposed to go. I was supposed to grab him from behind the head, and
Mhm.
I don't know why I didn't do that, because I knew that. But whatever.
Well, thankfully, ball pythons in general are pretty,
It's harmless. It was just a
relaxed
little
animals.
nick.
Yeah, like it's and that's usually an accident. That's user error. That's not that snake trying to like
Yeah.
get you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I understood that, so it's whatever.
Yeah.
So how long have you been working for the zoo?
So I'm coming up now on 3 years total. Two of those years being paid. My first year there, I was an intern because this is as like it's an experience based field. So the more experience you get, the better it is for you, and the better it is for the animals, for your coworkers. You know, so I was there for a year interning. I worked two different areas as an intern, and in October 2020, I got hired as a part timer. And then this past April, I believe, I got hired full time. So I'm coming up on 2 years paid, 3 years total.
Congrats, bro.
Thank you.
That's big, because I know this is what you want.
Yeah, yeah. This it's funny because like I've always said, like when I was 4 years old, I was walking around saying I was going to be a zookeeper, and it was
Right.
just like for the love of the animals. I didn't think this was something I was actually going to do once I got a little older, but here I am.
And all it took
Yeah,
was just to apply there. And you started off as a volunteer, correct?
an intern. Yeah. So we
Or
do have
intern.
volunteers and we have interns. It's a little different,
Oh, it's
but
different. Okay.
yeah. So volunteers are just that they're volunteers. They usually don't work in the animal care side of things. They'll usually do kind of like extra stuff, like little extra things we need. They usually don't I don't interact with interns personally, or excuse me, with volunteers personally, unless I see them on the walkway. They'll say good morning or whatever. Interns, animal care interns will work with the zookeepers. They'll work in the areas and they will work animals. They're learning how to be a zookeeper. So that's
Okay.
what I was doing as an
That's what
intern.
you were doing.
Right. I was whether it be prepping diets or cleaning an area or learning how to clean holding pens or learning how to walk a yard, little things like that. That's what you learn as an intern. And then that's when I got hired as a part timer with Team Atlantic, the same team I'm on now. And that's when you get more hands on, you have more responsibilities. And now I'm a keeper one. I have a lot more responsibility. Now it's just the more you progress, the more stuff you're in charge of. Like,
Of course.
yeah.
So I know this is a kind of random question, but I know in the zoo there's like rides as well, attractions.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't call them rides. There are
They're like
some.
attractions.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, I
sure.
know there's one that's like a river,
Yeah,
where like
yeah,
we can,
sure.
and then there's another one. Right? No, there's just that one.
I have to think on that. I'm not too sure.
So
I know
like,
in the Everglades we have the boat ride, like you said,
yeah.
where it'll go around and it'll like you'll see like behind some of the exhibits and you can see the bears and the gators. Um, we have a lake in the middle, like a really big lake in the middle of the zoo, and you kind of have like it's like one of those pedal boat rides.
Yeah, I've seen those
There's some of
before.
that, and that's not more of a ride. That's more of like a boat, and you could
Yeah.
explore the lake. Um, there's like there's not like real like if you're talking about like roller coasters and stuff like that,
No,
or
yeah,
like
I'm talking
nothing
about
really
like
like that.
that, the the river one, that one that you sit into this little boat thing.
Yeah, that's like the main one I could think of,
Yeah.
unless I'm missing something. That's like the main one. Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of people actually do come expecting like a full like theme park kind of thing, and I think they miss
Oh,
the
and there's also
point.
like a water park type of thing, right there, like in the
Yeah,
middle.
but that's more for
It's just
like
like
little
for the
kids,
kids, yeah. It's like
Yeah.
water spouts
Yeah,
everywhere.
right. Yeah, we have two of those. One in the Oasis area, which is like a restaurant, and one right in front of A&B, Amazon and Beyond. Yeah.
Cool. All right, man. Well, I want to hear a full day in the life, a full day
A
in your
full
life?
day?
Like, what do you do from
Yeah.
start to finish? Because I'm still a little bit foggy on this. I mean,
No, you're good.
you've told me that you like take like you take observations and whatnot of
Right,
the
for
animals
sure.
and
So usually, it, times always depend on the area. We have an opener and a closer. So if I'm opening, I come in at 7. If I'm closing, I come in at 9.
so which one's the most like what's what's the word exciting, not exciting, but
Well,
like something they do like the more like more.
I I do 9 to 6s more. I usually close more, but it's usually because it's correlating with a run. What a run is my area, Team Atlantic, has 3 runs. One run is giant river otter, so it's giant river otter, giant anteater, guanaco peccary. One's walkthrough, which is the walkthrough exhibit with the sloth and the tamandua and the porcupine and the bat caves. And then you have the jaguar run, which is jaguar, spider monkey, collar monkey, GLT.
But what's a
So
run?
that's the run. So
But what is a run?
what do you mean?
Like like sections? You mean? Is that what
Yeah,
run is? Okay.
it's divided to those 3 sections.
Okay.
My area would be divided into those 3 sections.
Okay, got it. So,
And
the
they're called runs. Excuse me.
Perfect.
I guess I should have said that.
Got you. All right.
But yeah, so it all depends. The opener, who works 7 to 4, usually works walkthrough, and closers usually work river otter and jag. So it all depends. But yeah, usually first thing in the morning you get diets. Opener usually tries to get started for everybody, feed all the animals, kick everybody out onto the exhibits. When the closer comes in at 9, at that point we just start cleaning.
But what? So it's just one. So how many people are there in each run in one day?
It depends.
Is it one opener, one closer normally, or what?
No, on a great day, 2 per run. We're short staffed at the moment, so we don't have that many people. So right now it's usually 4 people to 5 people total, and you just divvy it up like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so it always depends.
So by diet, so it's just one person feeding all those animals in that run.
Sometimes, yeah. It usually depends. So if I'm opening, let's say I open tomorrow, right? I'll go to the nutrition center. I'll pick up all the area's diets. I'll come back and I'll try to feed, let's say, spider monkey, the walkthrough exhibit, the bats, the giant river otters, and maybe howler GLT. Mostly because the jaguars, guanaco peccary, giant anteater, it's hard to like describe it. Those are more animals that we don't have to kick out right away. It's easier for the keepers to kick out river otter right away.
What do you mean kick out?
Sorry, put those animals from holding onto exhibit.
Okay.
So let's say for example, for river otter, there's 6 large holding pens, right?
Okay.
We have 4 otters total. It helps us more in the morning to make sure 2 of those otters go out, and it's easier for us to clean than instead of coming in at 9 and then having to do that. It just puts us behind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it all depends on how we set each other up to try to be done at noon, which is our lunch.
So that's interesting. I didn't know that. I thought these animals like stayed in their exhibits all the time.
No, that's like an escape issue, and it's also
Okay.
dangerous for the animal. We are in the middle of the pine rocklands.
Okay.
So what that means is that basically behind the zoo there's a big forest. We can't control what's there. There are coyotes, there are bobcats, there are animals that if we leave our animals out on exhibit, they could probably go hop the moat and try to get a midnight snack.
Rewind. There's actually bobcats.
Sure.
Wild
Yeah.
bobcats.
I've seen fox. I've heard coyotes. This is
in the Pine Rocklands.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bobcats?
One time. Sorry.
Bobcats? That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, Florida has a bunch of native species.
Isn't that like the Florida animal, like the Florida bobcat?
I think you're thinking about the Florida panther.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that's
no.
what I mean.
No,
I was just testing you.
We definitely don't
I
have
was
panthers there. But
I was just testing you, bro. You see,
Yeah.
you know your animals. There you
yeah.
go.
But yeah, it's the wilderness out there. Even though it is a large protected area, it's protected to make sure we have those animals there, because the plot of land that Zoo Miami is on is the second largest rock pineland preserve in South Florida. Number 1 is the Everglades. Zoo Miami, in relativity to that, isn't that big. So we try to keep it as intact as we can because the Pine Rocklands are where a lot of native species to Miami to South Florida live, and every day it lessens more and more. And those animals, like for example, the Walmart that just opened there,
I was gonna say that.
we they cut a big chunk of that the Pine Rocklands to make that Walmart, that Starbucks, everything that's there. They had to cut from the Pine Rocklands. Last October, I was leaving my friend's house who lives right there. It was like midnight, and I'm driving home, and I look over at the Walmart, and there's a wild coyote right there in the median. Yeah,
What?
yeah, it was huge. I thought it was a German Shepherd. I thought it was a large German Shepherd. It was a coyote. So
Just like on the road?
on the median, yeah,
What?
yeah,
Can you imagine walking by that at 12 in the morning?
yeah.
Just doing a walk?
So yeah,
Or
it's
just like
funny.
putting
You
in
don't,
gas right there at the racetrack and the
yeah,
thing just approaches you?
yeah. You don't realize how many wild animals really are around us just because we're in the suburbs. Yeah, there's
I didn't know that.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, and I mean, like, I had no idea. I had no idea that the Pine Rocklands were even a thing until they made it a big deal when they were
yeah,
trying to make the Walmart and whatnot. They were
yeah,
like
yeah,
making a petition
yeah,
to stop it.
yeah.
Didn't work.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize how many animals do call Zoo Miami home that aren't even our collection animals.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not uncommon. I've seen them myself. I'm parking, I look up in the tree, and there's a bald eagle looking. Like,
dude,
how many
I will
people could
never.
say,
Go ahead.
like, no, what I'm saying is like that. How many people do you think could say that they really know that bald eagles nest down here? It's part of their migration. Same thing with bonneted bats. Bonneted bats are a species of bat that live down here exclusively in South Florida, and they call Zoo Miami home. They don't call a lot of other places home. You know what I mean? So the more that like the land goes away, the more that these animals go away.
I'll never forget the day or the night rather when we were playing basketball
Hmm.
at night, and you're like, guys, like I'm like, oh my gosh, like all these birds up, like like moving from tree to tree. And you're like, bro, those aren't birds,
Hmm.
those are bats. And I'm like, bats?
Yeah,
I had no idea that bats even
yeah.
like lived here, like
Oh,
randomly,
dude,
bro, like birds, bro.
there are
I didn't know.
thousands of species of bats in the world.
I had no idea that
Yeah,
bats lived in my neighborhood.
yeah, 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 yeah. You don't think expect it, but they do.
Those screeching noises I hear sometimes,
Yeah,
like
those high
are those
pitched
bats?
chirps, those are all bats. Yeah, yeah,
I thought
yeah,
they were like birds or like crickets or
yeah.
something, bro.
No, no.
These are actual
Yeah,
bats.
and a lot of
And how
people
big are
think.
they?
Uh, I don't know for sure. I've never held one, but
Okay.
I'm assuming it's a species of microbat, so it can't be more than
And what do they eat on? Like, do you know?
I don't
Are
know
they
about bonneted
omnivores?
bats. I know for sure the three species I work with are Jamaican fruit bats, pale spear nose, and Seba shorttail. They're all herbivorous. We give them a whole variety of fruits and vegetables. Yesterday I fed them collard greens. They get banana, they get pear, they get apple, they get grapes, blueberries. They get a whole variety of
Fruits.
things. They get a
Because
whole
they're
bunch
fruit
of
bats.
fruits. Yeah, exactly.
So all of your bats are fruit bats.
As in
Or
Miami, yes. Yeah.
okay. Which one's your favorite? Like in terms of like physical appearance. Like most beautiful. If you can even call bats
It's
beautiful. I like bats. I think bats look awesome.
yeah, it sucks because like bats are really underrated. They have really cute faces, and people they have like such a bad like stigma because when it comes to like COVID-19, rabies. Look at movies. How do you depict bats as vampires and
Just
these
bad.
blood
Just
sucking
scary.
animals?
Just
Exactly,
scary.
and it's not the case at all. I mean, I have a picture. I wish I could show it, but podcast.
You can send it to me. I'll
Literally,
put it on the screen
for
later.
sure, I probably will. Last Wednesday, I was cleaning one of the bat caves, and a little bat lands right on my shoulder. It's a cave. There's 500 individuals in there. Eventually, they're gonna run into me. So he lands on my shoulder, and he just hangs out while I clean. They don't do anything. You get me? They're not out to get you.
Okay, so that's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
So although they are herbivores,
Yeah.
do they attack humans?
No, no, not at all. I have never been like quote unquote attacked ever. Sometimes they'll run into me by accident, but it's because I'm in their way. Um, and they're very sturdy. They like I've always said it. They feel like little baseballs. It feels like a baseball hits you like right on the arm. But no, not at all. They. I say this all the time. Like that's like the one thing that most people ask me when I'm cleaning the bat caves. And I always say like they just want to do their own thing. I want nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
I'm just there cleaning. And that's another
So you're the one
species.
intruding.
Yeah, right.
We all
So
are basically because these people live in nature, and what are we doing? We're
yeah,
settling in
sure,
their homes.
for sure. And And then bats are another species, like I said earlier, fruit dispersal, or excuse me, seed dispersal.
Yeah.
Bats are the same way. I mean, you look at the Amazon and the Brazil, banana trees, cocoa trees, where you get chocolate from. That's all bat dispersal. Now, granted, there are many animals that spread these seeds, but bats are a big one. As the Amazon depletes, as the bats go away, we're gonna lose chocolate, banana, and all these products. I can't think off the top of my head because bats are some of the ones dispersing, one of the highest numbers dispersing these seeds and all that make these trees and stuff.
Also, that's probably why. I mean, I'm kind of ignorant when it comes to this, but that's why I have you. When they were doing the whole, when it was like a big, I mean, it still is a big deal. They're trying to cut down the Amazon rainforest. That's one of the consequences that we might face if
Sure,
we
absolutely. Well,
see
there's
this
just
person.
so much. Uh, I work with giant river otters. There's a good to fair chance that by the time I have grandkids, they'll have no idea what that is because of how little numbers they have in the wild. And that comes from overfishing, from, like you said, deforestation. Uh, Giant river otters are pescatarian, they eat fish. It is known that now they're going after caiman, which is a species of crocodilian. And not only going after them, they're killing them and eating them because of how low the fish numbers are in the Amazon because of overfishing. That just goes to show like how badly how bad their numbers are. They can't even eat what they're supposed to eat. Now they're going after basically crocodiles, right?
Now I know that's sad, but I can't help to just marvel at the fact that we are watching evolution.
Right.
Like these people,
Yeah.
like these giant river otters are evolving right before our eyes. They're just they went from eating fish, now they're advancing to crocodiles.
Yeah.
What's
Well, we
next?
don't. Ideally they don't have to eat caiman, but
That's what I'm saying. Like
yeah.
it's sad, but it's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
marveling at the fact that evolution, we're actually watching it. Like
Hmm.
people would just
Sure.
overlook it, but that's actually happening. That's evolution. They're adapting.
Dude, it's pretty crazy because like people always ask me, "Oh, do you guys swim with the river otters?" Dude, no. Dude,
Aren't they like really powerful?
they have extremely powerful jaws. They have alarm.
Why is that going off? That's
They have
awkward.
extremely powerful jaws, razor sharp teeth. Yeah, at Zumiami we have four. In the wild, they could travel up to packs of 20. They're known in Brazil as river wolves because they you don't want to see one swimming towards you. They're not super aggressive animals. They're not out to get you. However, if you mess with them, they're not these cute. Well, they are cute, but they're not these cuddly animals. You know what I mean? Like these are animals that you have to respect.
Now the name giants. How big are they?
Well, they're the largest species of river otter. I believe, and I could be. I don't know much about
Yeah,
marine.
yeah.
That's not what I work with, but there are other larger species of river otter. They could get up to 6 feet. Ours, as in Miami, are about 4 to 5 feet, which is still very large. But yeah, they are known to get about to,
Four
six
to five
feet.
feet.
Yeah,
That's like this big, bro. That's
dude, that's
more. I
yeah,
can't
that's
right now because
yeah,
this is in the way, but
yeah. No, they get really big.
that's as big as like a middle schooler.
Yeah, for sure. They get really big.
Wow. And you have
Compared
four of
to
them?
yes, we have four. We have mom, her daughter, and her two sons.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, but yeah, compared to like ASCOs, like American small cloud
Yeah.
otters, North American river otters, those are about they're really small. They're only about a foot to 2 feet long.
Now, I was gonna ask. Oh, dude, I don't know why I have this vivid picture of when I went to the zoo one day. I don't know who I was with. I think I was with somebody,
Yeah.
and you had just randomly went up to me and was like, or I mean, like not randomly, like we're just walking by a tree, and you're like, "Oh, pick this tree and eat it." What tree
I
was
didn't tell
that?
you to eat it, bro.
You did. No,
I
you
told you to
did.
smell it, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was smell. It was
No,
okay.
I'm not going up to him asking him to eat stuff.
So wait, hold on.
No.
Okay, I thought it was eat. Okay, so what did it? I think it was mint. Was it mint?
It was
or-
Brazilian pepper. Yeah, it's a species of an invasive plant,
Okay.
and basically, I guarantee you, it's freaking everywhere. Like it's taken over South Florida. But yeah, you crush it up, and it has like a smell to it.
Now, when you said in the beginning, but you have 500 species, does that
Individual.
No, it was 3,000 individuals.
Oh, there you
500
go. You're right.
species.
Oof, look at me. You're the
So,
zookeeper now.
so 500 species. Does that include like wildlife or plants and whatnot? Like,
No, That
Okay.
just goes to collection animals.
Because people tend to forget, like this is a zoo, but there's also speed, like there's also like
Yeah,
little like displays
yeah,
and
for
signs of like
plants. Yeah.
plants.
So yeah, we push really hard to be a botanical garden as well. We have a ton of native, non-native display plants. Like yeah,
Yeah,
you walk the pathway and there are a bunch of fauna that have
signs.
signs. Yeah, for
That's
sure.
pretty interesting. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's pretty interesting to me.
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys? There's not like a botanical garden. Alright guys, you're probably wondering why am I seeing your face right now, and the reason why is unfortunately my video recording device ran out of storage in the later half of the episode. That's not going to happen again, but the good news is I actually have the episode already uploaded on Spotify amongst other services, so you can go ahead and check that out. I will leave the link in the description down below. Please share with your friends. I hit the microphone, sorry about that. You probably, oh, I did it again. Anyway, please share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.